Welcome back to another Flutter tutorial video. In this episode, let's learn how we can add validation to forms in Flutter. So in the last video, we created this form right here, where the user can register a new payment card. As the form stands, if you click on the register, we can see we are able to submit an empty form. This is happening because we don't have a validation inside of this form. So in this episode, let's learn how we can solve this problem. One way to solve this problem is by calling the validator property for each input field. So let's go inside of this add card name right here. And you can see we have this property right here, validator. This property will expect a function. And here you can provide the value that the user entered as an argument. So inside of this callback, we can check right here if the value is empty or null. We can also check the length of the value if it's within the range that we specify. So basically you can add any custom validation inside of this method. And when you click on register, our function right here will call this validate, and this validator will run. For each validator, it will check if you had any error. This will be displayed back to the user. So let's get started. First of all, let's check right here if the value is null or empty. So you do value if it is equal to null or value is empty. So if this condition is true, let's return an error message. So return a string right here. And let's say name on card is required. So otherwise you can return no. So now let's test it. Click on register and you can see we have this error message right here. Name on card is required. So besides of this condition, you can also apply another condition right here. Now let's check if this value size is within the length that we specify right here. The max length to be 15. So you can do right here the value dot to the length property. If this is less than 3 or the length dot value is greater than 50, we want to return an error message to the user right here. So let's say the name on card must be between 3 to 50 character longs. So now come right here, let's test it. So come right here, let's type TS and you click on register. You see now we had another error validation. Name on card must be between 3 to 50 character longs. So right here, besides of using the validator and also constrain the size of your text field using this property right here, we also have another property which is this input formatter. This will expect a list of text input formatter, and you can use these two classes right here, the length input formatter. So right here you specify the maximum length that this input can take. In this case is 50. We can also use the filter input formatter. And here we have right here digit only. If you use digit only, we only are able to add digits, so we don't need for this one. If you do a dot, you also have right here deny. So right here this will expect a regular expression, so let's call a regular expression class. So right here to define an expression, you do R, you use single quotes, and you can do right here brackets, and then you do 0 through 9. So right here we are denying any digit that the user can enter right here. So if you save, you try to type any number right here. You can see we are not able to type any number, but you can use letters and also custom characters like question mark, space, and so on. And if you don't want to use a special character, you can come right here, call again filter input formatter. Now you use allow, and here you can use a regular expression. So now let's copy the same regular expression and just change the values inside of this bracket. So you can come right here, paste your regular expression. You can use right here A through Z, lowercase letter, and also uppercase letter A through Z. When you save, if you try to use now question marks, you cannot enter custom letters right here. So now you can comment to this one. So if you want to learn more about regular expression, just Google regular expression in Dart and you will learn how you can create your own custom expression right here. So now let's copy all this code and let's apply it to these other input fields. So after right here, let's now add the card number. So come right here, paste everything. So now let's check right here. Change the name to be number on card instead of using this name on card right here. And then we'll change right here the length. Now the length has to be, it cannot be less than 16 and it cannot be greater than 16. So right here change to be 16 characters long. So here you can also call this input formatter. So right here call the length limit, this will be 16, and then give a comma and then call this filter input formatter with the value as digits. So come right here and just call digit only. So save. So now copy. Let's go inside now of these two forms for civic code and also for the expiration date. So come right here, paste it, change this one to be civic code is required, paste this one right here, and then the max length right here has to be 3. Come here, call input formatter, again call these two classes right here, the length has to be 3, give it a comma, and then filter into X formatted, let's digits only. Let's copy these properties right here, let's paste right here. For this one, we're not going to use this input formatter. Instead, we'll add custom regular expression to validate if this expiration date is valid and also to check if this card is expired or not. And also, we'll use a custom regular expression for this card number. So now let's format everything. So now save. If you click on register, you see now we get the error exception for these input fields. We need to add right here also for this drop down menu. So for this drop down menu, we just need this one right here. Just copy. So now let's go right here. Inside of this form widget, let's extract this method right here first. So make a private, add card type field. Then come right here. So now come here, paste it. So for this one, we don't need this value is empty because this value for this one, this will be a unknown type. So we just need this one right here. If the value is equal to null. So you can say right here, card type is required. So now save everything. Let's test one more time. You can see now we get an exception for everything. So now let's apply the validation right here for the card number and the expiration date. So for that, let's create a new class right here. So first create a new subfolder, call this helpers. And then inside of it, let's create a new file and you can call this utility underscore helper dot dart. So right here, let's create a class and you can call this utility helper. So inside of it, I will place a few static methods that are used to validate this expiration date and the card number. So I'll just copy and paste this code right here. and afterwards I will explain the code to you. So the first method is to check right here if the card number is valid. So I have a regular expression to validate the Visa card and MasterCard. And then we'll check right here if this regex has a matching with this regular expression, then we'll return true, otherwise we'll return false. Then the second method is to check the expiration date if it's in current format. So we have right here 2 digits for the month slash 2 digits for the year. So this is what this regular expression is doing right here. So we check right here if this 2 digits is for the month, then slash, and then 2 more digits for the year. If this is match, let's return true, otherwise return false. And then for this last one, right here we'll take in the date as a string. Then we are splitting the date using the slash. So the position 0 will take this 2 value for the month. Well, right here you use an int to convert into an int number. And then the same thing for the year. But here we also doing an addition to 2000. So if the value is 26, then we get the current year. And then we'll return a date using right here the year, the month plus 1, and this value to 1. And then let's check right here if this expiration date is after the current date, then means the card is valid, otherwise this card is expired. So now save this class. So now you can come right here, let's go inside of this. Let's go inside of this card number right here. After this validation you can do if. Now let's call this utility class, utility helper dot, let's call this is card the value format, and then you provide the value. And here you add exclamation mark to deny this code right here. So if this is false, we'll do right here return, and let's return an error message. And the error message will be enter a valid card number. So now copy. Let's go right here inside of this one. So now let's open this expiration date. Paste it right here. Now call is expiration date valid formatted. If it's not, you can display this error message and a valid expiration date. Let's do another condition right here. And now let's check if this card is expired or not. So come right here. Let's say card is expired. So now save everything. So now let's test it right here. If you enter the card number to be all 1 and you try to submit it, you will see enter a valid card number. So now for the expiration date, let's say right here. First of all, let's say this will be 13/45. Try to submit it, you say, so we need to change the code right here. So let's come right here, expiration date, okay, right here. The value has to be 5. This one has to be 5. Right here, 5, so save. Let's reload everything. So get started, come right here. And then change the value right here to be expiration date. So save everything. Try to submit to the form. Come right here. Let's say 13/25. And we get enter a valid expiration date. So let's say right now we want to use 12/2025. Try to register. You see the card is expired. Now, so if you change to 26, so this is in the future. Click on it. You'll see this will accept this input value. So now let's enter every information right here. DEVDSNDUO. Let's say for the card number 4. and then for the specific code 011. So now when you try to submit to the form, you also need to select the card type. Let's say this will be a Visa card. Click on register. You see card successful, register. So this is how we can add validation in Flutter. As you can see, you can specify different type of validation. Make sure you follow the order. First, make sure the value is not null, and then you can do other types of validation afterwards. So this is it for the video. In the next video, let's now connect to these two pages. So when a user click on edit, let's go to this register page, and instead of displaying the text as a register, let's learn how we can make this to edit this form, so we can get the card information and display back so the user can edit any information right here. So this is it for this video. If you find this video useful, give a like and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notification when new videos are coming out. This is it. See you on the next one.